not for OSH experts, but for employers themselves and managers. So I think this is also a topic, training and to motivational training for employers and for managers. And we heard it already. My opinion is, in this project we run here currently, and we are involved from DGUV, that perhaps it's a good idea to look at the measures taken in Europe and to implement similar measures in the strategy we work on for Punjab. And it has something to do with the GSP Plus, which is, I think, an interesting topic for Pakistan for the future. Not only for preventing accidents, for making business. So this goes hand in hand. Yeah, what else? Of course, we have more challenges in the world and in our societies than only safety, health, and well-being. We have this pandemic. We have this. This is the topic supply chain. We heard it in the opening speech, in the welcome words. This is the environmental protection topic. And I'm very happy that I can inform you today, and that's the first time that we ever present it. The ISA will publish this new guide for protecting the environment, because this is the layout for this as a guide to protect the environment and our future for industry, for employers, for managers. And we found out that you can really use the same 7 elements, the same golden rules, only a little bit adapted with this other topic. And I think this is a really good opportunity to keep the words and not to confuse people having a strategy there and another one for another topic, but to keep the line and to stay on track. So, to summarize this, we look for strategic solutions for a lot of sectors, for a lot of challenges, for safety, health, and well-being, for road safety, that's another topic, for public health, for our private life. We are not like Jekyll and Hyde, that we follow the good rules at the workplace and we don't do the different things at home. We must integrate this. And also the environmental protection is one of this. And I'm sure we can work on that set of challenges by the 7 golden rules and by Vision Zero. So does it pay is another important question, and we can not go in the details, but yes, it pays. The study we made shows that it creates a return on prevention, different figures for different countries. So the message behind that is it's to spend money for safety, health, and well-being is not a cost factor. It is an investment in your future, in the future of Pakistan. And this is my presentation, what I brought to you today. And to summarize, in my opinion, it is a good idea to choose Vision Zero and the 7 golden rules as an umbrella strategy. We need all the elements in place, but we have to combine them, and then that can become effective. So thank you very much. I'm here and we can talk and work together, and together we can do it much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much for again traveling all the way from the different part of the world and sharing insight in so much detail that obviously now if anyone had any doubt of how measures can be taken to ensure the occupational health and safety standards, you can safely say that this presentation along with the other guidelines that Mr. Hamid just stated, can ensure a bright future. And lastly, a very important factor that was mentioned is that it is not, at the end of the day, it's not a cost factor. You have to look at it as an investment as well. And previously, when he was talking about the 7 golden rules, which have been placed here as well for Vision Zero, we know that it is a downstream, that it has to start from the top, and then it finds its way slowly down to the workers who really need this. So ladies and gentlemen, now to comprehensively talk, and what Mr. Majid said initially, that we should create social dialogue. In that spirit, we will have a panel discussion here, which will, again, work on the same element of dialogue, and we'll see different perspectives about, again, occupational safety and health standards and how we can ensure them. This is our next session. It's titled Act Together for Advancing Health and Safety Culture. So to moderate this panel discussion, I'll hand over the moderation role over to another representative of GIZ. Before that, let me call on stage our respectable panelists. First of all, Mr. Syed Nazar Ali, who's Secretary General, Employees Federation of Pakistan. Thank you, sir. Mr. Rana Abdul Sami, who's the General Secretary of the All Pakistan Workers Ittihad Foundation. Thank you, sir. Mr. Rao Zahid, who's the Deputy Secretary Admin of the LNHRD. And finally, Ms. Sadia Hamid, who's the Senior Project Officer, International Labour Organization, ILO. Thank you so much, ma'am. And to conduct this panel discussion, I would like to call on stage Ms. Faiza Zia, who's the Organization Development Advisor for GIZ. Ma'am, can we have you here? She's already here. Ma'am, the stage is yours. Feel free to proceed.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. Our panel discussion today is on a very important topic, and we've already had a lot of discussion on it. It's on the topic of social dialogue. The social dialogue to promote a positive safety and health culture. Now, work-related accidents can and should be prevented in order to build a culture of prevention through social dialogue to create a healthy workforce, a productive enterprise, and sustainable economies. Now, in the keynote address of Mr. Majid Aziz, we heard about social dialogue and the importance of sitting on the same side of the table instead of on the opposite sides. And during Mr. Helmut's presentation, we saw it actually touched my heart, that video of a father not being able to tie the shoes of his daughter anymore. So this is why we need a social dialogue, so that every mother, every father can come home to their kids. So what is social dialogue? Social dialogue is all sorts of negotiations, consultations, exchange of information between representatives of workers, employers, and governments. And I'm very, very excited to have a very diverse group representing the employers, the workers, the Labor Department, and the international organization. So without further ado, we're a little short on time. I'm going to introduce our panelists. Our first speaker is Mr. Syed Nazar Ali, Secretary General, Employers Federation of Pakistan. Mr. Nazar Ali has more than 35 years of experience in the area of skills development, employment, and labor management, and has served in different positions in the public and private sectors. He has also worked closely with GIZ, ILO, and World Bank on various development projects. Welcome, Mr. Nazar Ali. Our second speaker is Mr. Rana Abdul Sami, General Secretary, All Pakistan Workers Ittihad Foundation. Mr. Sami is a workers' representative, and his efforts with workers in the industry on labor welfare have been remarkable. Welcome. Our third speaker is from the Labor and Human Resource Department. He is the Deputy Secretary Development, Mr. Rao Zahid. Mr. Rao Zahid has been with the Labor Department for the past 6 years, and he has also worked as a lecturer at the Industrial Relations Institute. His areas of expertise is labor laws, labor standards, and the management and monitoring of development projects. Our final speaker will be Ms. Ms. Sadia Hamid, Senior Project Officer, ILO. Ms. Sadia is working on a project called the International Labour and Environmental Standards Applications in Pakistan's Small Medium Enterprises, and the project is funded by the European Union. So without further ado, I would like to ask the first question to Mr. Saeed Nasser Ali. Mr. Nasser Ali, in the past several years, there has been a lot going on in the field of occupational safety and health in terms of the global regulations, international compliance, the foreign buyers, their sustainability requirements, and obviously the Pakistan's GSP Plus status. This has been a lot in terms of the technological advancements that have changed the dimensions of WASH globally. And obviously, we could not have any conversation without talking about the global pandemic now. How do you view these changes for Pakistan, keeping in view the industry's perspective, sir?
Thank you, Ji. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to GIZ for providing me an opportunity to share the roles and the functions and the achievements my organization, Employers Federation of Pakistan in general, and in particular in the area of health and safety. Health and safety is basic human and labor rights. And since it involves the deal with the human life, it cannot be compromised. And it is the responsibility of every employer to provide safe and protective workplaces to the workers. The health and safety basically is important for the sustainable development of the industry. And this is the reason that the progressive employers, attach high priority to health and safety. Unfortunately, we have not been able to cope with the current changes that had taken place during the last couple of years, which are driven by the pandemic, as well as introduction of modern technologies like artificial intelligence, robotic, all these things. Because this has brought some changes, and now the health and safety is beyond physical. It's a psychological, it's a work stress, and there are which are not measurable. So there is a need to shift the focus of health and safety beyond this physical means. In the industry, there are some changes and there are some trends which are coming in the health and safety sectors, particularly reinforcing health and safety culture. When we talk about health and safety culture, we mean the importance the organization is attaching or giving to the health and safety. And this can only be created with engagement, communication between the workers, management, and at all levels. This culture cannot be created without engagement of employers and the trade unions, because the health and safety is meant for the workers at the workplace, if we are talking about the workplace. And if they are not engaged, we cannot implement or create a culture by telling something to the workers or to the management. And then there is another trend, introduction and use of smart PPPs. Because now we have seen during the COVID, during the social distancing, when we cannot touch one another, there's a need to use the major equipment that can measure the things without touching the individuals. And then we have adopting a holistic approach to this overall health and safety. As I said, the issues are emotional. The issues are, during the pandemic, so many people lost the job. There is no money for them to feed their things. There are psychological effects. And then there are the pressure that is resulted because of this informalization or casualization of the work from home and everything. So this demand to work in a different way, and that requires to have a knowledge, learning, communication, training. This is the area.
Definitely.
And at the same time, the pressure on Pakistan industry is increasing from the buyers, as a result of the GSP Plus and some other areas. So I think this is an area which is very important to be looked in, and collective efforts is needed. the role of the government, particularly the inspection, which is based on prosecution and punishment, should be shifted towards improvement and preventions. So this is the area where the industry.
Can you also talk a bit about the role of EFP in this regard? What is EFP doing in order to, so that, in working harmony in
Well,
terms
Employers
of...
Federation of Pakistan is the only employers organization who is a member of International Organization of Employers
Definitely.
and constituent of ILO. And being a constituent of these international organizations, we are duty-bound and committed to promote a culture of health and safety. And we, with the support of our partners, ILO, the stakeholders, have made so many intervention and initiatives. We have been observing International Health and Safety Day from 16 years. We hold the conference to create an awareness and seek commitment from the employers for this. And at the same time, we have commissioned and launched Best Practice Health and Safety Awards. And we are holding it from last consecutive 16 years, in which we recognize the best practices and the initiative taken by the champion companies to promote health and safety culture in this. The 16th award is taking place on 21st, in which the Dr. Arif Alvi, Honorable President of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, has consented to grace the award distribution ceremony on 21st with his presence. Beside this, the ILO, with the support of the ITC ILO training centers, has developed a special health and safety training program for the operational managers. This program has now been converted into the local language for the training of the workers and the supervisors. We are preparing a postgraduate diploma with one of the leading premier institutions in Karachi to aware and create knowledge in the health and safety. Besides, we are working on so many initiatives like SCORES, which is a sustaining responsible enterprises. And then we have started working with the ILO on FIT, Factory Improvement Toolkit models. And then very recently, as talked by Majid Bhai, Better Work Program, which is aimed to improve the competitiveness and the working condition of this. And I'm very thankful, and the role of the Majid Bhai in bringing better work into Pakistan is, without him, it could have not been possible for this.
Definitely. The future of work, which, as Mr. Majid said, is the presence now. Thank you so much, Mr. Saeed Nazar Ali. I think you've highlighted some brilliant points, and one point that has stuck with me is that health and safety goes beyond just physical. It's psychological as well. It's mental health that we have to look into. And in this regard, especially after COVID-19, we have to also take into account how the workers are feeling at the moment. And we've heard the perspective of the employers. Now we have with us Mr. Rana Abdul Sami, who is representing the workers. Mr. Rana Abdul Sami, आप थोड़ा सा हमें please बताएं कि workers के point of view से occupational safety and health में क्या interventions ली जा रही हैं, what are the workers feeling, and इस लिहाज से future of OSH को आप किस तरह देखते हैं?
जी शुक्रिया जी, आपने यहाँ पे मौका दिया, GIC का शुक्रिया, चूँकि जब से GSP प्लस पाकिस्तान में आया है तब से हम मिस रोमीना को भी देख रहे हैं और यहाँ पे इनकी पूरी टीम एक डेडिकेशन के साथ काम कर रही है। और जिस तरह से ये विजन ज़ीरो के ऊपर आपने काम किया है, इस वक्त तमाम पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो हमारे टेक्सटाइल गारमेंट्स और प्रोसेसिंग और वीविंग और स्पिनिंग के जो हमारा टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर है, उसके अंदर अब लोगों के अंदर विजन ज़ीरो के ऊपर एक लोगों को अवेयरनेस आई है और जिसके ऊपर लोग यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में लोगों ने सेफ्टी हेल्थ के ऊपर तवज्जो देना शुरू की है। और इस तवज्जो से अब अगर देखा जाए तो इंडस्ट्री और वर्कर्स के दरमियान एक बड़ा बेहतरी आई है और जो अवेयरनेस, चूँकि ये सेफ्टी के ऊपर जो है ये कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस है और ये प्रोसेस जो कि अभी टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर के अंदर, गारमेंट सेक्टर के अंदर, वीविंग के अंदर भी कम है और जिस सेक्टर के अंदर भी ये गए हैं और वहाँ पे लोगों के अंदर हमारा जो गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट है इसने भी उसको एक्सप्लोर किया है और आपकी जो टीम है वो भी डिफरेंट हमारा देखा है मैंने शेखुपुरा में, फिरोजवटवा में, और डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्री जो है हमारी वहाँ पे आपने लेदर गारमेंट्स में आपने काम किया है। तो जो मज़दूर है, अभी जैसे ईसा के जनरल सेक्रेटरी हमें बता रहे थे कि अगर हम अच्छा काम गुड वर्क करेंगे तो हमारी लाइफ भी गुड अच्छी गुजरेगी। तो इस तरह हम जो पंजाबी के अंदर अपने जो लोगों को यहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग देते हैं कि आपके बच्चे आपका इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं, तो ये बेसिकली यही हमारे जो स्लोगन है, ये तरबियत है कि जिसके ऊपर हम अपने वर्कर्स को बताते हैं। जैसा कि दूसरा उन्होंने पॉइंट अभी रेस किया कि बुनियादी तौर पे ये खर्च नहीं है, आम तो जो कि हमारी जो इंडस्ट्री है वो ये समझती है, जो कि एसएमई जो स्मॉल मीडियम इंटरप्राइजेज है उसके अंदर ये सोचा जाता है कि शायद जो औश के ऊपर, सेफ्टी हेल्थ के ऊपर हम जो खर्चा कर रहे हैं ये हमारा एक एडिशनल खर्चा है, जबकि वही जो उनका स्किल्ड तरबियत याफ्ता वर्कर है उसकी ज़िंदगी महफूज है और उसके जो बच्चे हैं उनकी पूरी की पूरी जो टीम है पीछे वो एक डेडिकेशन के साथ उस अदारे के साथ काम कर रही होती है। तो ये जो हमारा ये कंटिन्यूटी है, इसकी जो ज़ीरो हमारा जो विज़न है, तो इसके एम्बेसडर आज यहाँ पे मौजूद नहीं है, हालांकि जो हमने प्रोग्राम जब से ये लॉन्च किया है, अंसर मजीद खान न्याजी साहब इसके एम्बेसडर हैं। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि हम सब एम्बेसडर हैं, क्योंकि जब हम अपने गली महलों के अंदर, जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि पब्लिक लाइफ के अंदर भी आप अपने आप को चलते फिरते भी लोगों को आप तरबियत दे सकते हैं, जब ख़ुद अपने आप को महफूज करते हैं तो सड़क पे जाते हुए हर इंसान जो है रोड सेफ्टी के ऊपर भी हमने काम करना है, आम जो हमारी सोशल लाइफ है उसके अंदर भी तरबियत देनी है। तो ये जो बेसिकली हमारा जो ये डिपार्टमेंट है इसके अंदर जो बेहतरी आई है वो स्टैटिस्टिक्स के ऊपर आई है कि हमने जब से आदाद व शुमार इकट्ठा करना शुरू किए हैं, जो स्टैटिस्टिक्स हमारे सामने आए हैं कि हमारे पंजाब के अंदर टोटल इंसिडेंट्स कितने हुए हैं और उस इंसिडेंट्स की R&D रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर जो हमने रिपोर्ट बनाई है उस R&D के ऊपर हमने आगे वे फॉरवर्ड उसके प्लान करी है। तो जो ईसा भी अभी के जनरल सेक्रेटरी भी मिस्टर हेलमेट भी जो रिकमेंड कर रहे थे कि हमने जब आपस में गुफ्तगू भी करनी है और आगे जो हमने इसको रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के जितने हमारे स्टैटिस्टिक्स बताते हैं कि जी हमारे फ़लाँ इंसिडेंट इस वजह से हुआ और उसकी सक्सेस स्टोरी के ऊपर ही हम ये बता सकते हैं। मैं एक सिर्फ इसके अंदर एक छोटा पॉइंट शेयर करता हूँ कि हम अपने जो FLT फोक लिफ्टर ड्राइवर हैं उनकी तरबियत रेगुलर करते हैं। तो ये 2002 का वाक़या है कि हमारा जो सड़क के दरमियान में डिवाइडर होता है उसके ऊपर फोक लिफ्टर का पिछला टायर चढ़ गया और जैसे वो फोक लिफ्टर का टायर चढ़ा और फोक लिफ्टर जो डीजल था गिर गया, जो ड्राइवर था उसने जो कि बाकायदा तौर पे ट्रेनिंग ली हुई थी और उसने अपना सेफ्टी बेल्ट पहना हुआ था, जो सेफ्टी मेजर्स उसको बताए गए थे उसने सारे के सारे उसको पूरे किए और जैसे वो उतरा तो उसके पास कोई भी शख्स नहीं था। उसने सबसे पहले उस एरिए को कॉटन ऑफ किया और जो फायर कॉल थी उसको बुलाया और उसको बुला के उस सारे एरिए को बचा लिया आग लगने से, पूरी के पूरे अदारा वो महफूज रहा। और वो इंटरनेशनली 185 ममालिक के अंदर ये कंपनी काम करती है। तो 185 ममालिक के अंदर उसकी रिकग्नाइजेशन मुझे मिली और उसके ऊपर मुझे अवार्ड दिया गया और उनके जो 185 ममालिक हैं वहाँ पे कि आपने बाकायदा जो ट्रेनिंग दी और ड्राइवर ने जो कि वो CCTV वीडियो जो थी पूरी की पूरी और उन्हें उसको लर्निंग लेसन में कन्वर्ट कर दिया। तो हमें भी पाकिस्तान के अंदर यहाँ पे हम अगर 1, 2, 4 500 अदारों के अंदर लर्निंग लेसन पे हम अपने आप को इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं, तो अगर हमारी इंडस्ट्री थाउजेंड्स एंड हज़ारों के अंदर है तो उसके अंदर हमने, जैसे अभी मजीद अजीज़ साहब सिंध की एग्जांपल दे रहे थे, इस तरह पंजाब भी अगर देखा जाए तो इसके अंदर हमारे औश के अंदर अगर ग्रेजुअली मैं देखूं तो पिछले सिंस 2014 से जब से GSP प्लस आया तो ग्रेजुअली अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारी ग्रोथ जो है वो बहुत अच्छी है और ख़ास तौर पे जो हमारा डिपार्टमेंट गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट है, लेबर डिपार्टमेंट है, ये भी कंटिन्यूसली इसके ऊपर एफर्ट कर रहे हैं। और जो हमारे सनतकार है, सनतकार भी इस वक्त हम समझते हैं कि इसको बोझ नहीं महसूस कर रहा। कुछ अदारे हैं हमारे SMEs स्मॉल मीडियम इंटरप्राइजेस के कि जिनके अंदर अभी भी इसकी तरबियत की ज़रूरत है। ये एक कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस है जिसके अंदर हम मज़ीद बेहतरी ला सकते हैं।
Thank you so much, Rana Abdul Sami. You raised some really good points. कि अभी there's a lot that has been done in the field of occupational safety and health, but a lot and there's a room for more improvement that we can do. Research states that when workers take part in promoting safety and health in the workplace, it reduces the risk of accidents. And I was going through a research today, and it showed that workplaces with higher worker engagement report 64% fewer safety incidents and 58% fewer hospitalization. So we've had the opportunity to hear from the representative of the industry and the representative of the workers. Now we have with us Mr. Rao Zahid from the Labor Department. Rao Saab, can you give us an overview of what the Labor Department has been doing in terms of occupational safety and health, especially in terms of the collaboration with other stakeholders, and how important it is to have a social dialogue in OSH?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Faiza. As you know, Pakistan is a signatory of, is a member state of the UN and a signatory of all UN conventions, and is bound to comply with all UN conventions, including 190 conventions of ILO. Two conventions are important in regarding health and safety. One is C-155, Occupational Safety and Health Convention, 1991. And the other is C-187, that is Promotional Framework for Occupational Safety and Health. That is a convention of 2006. So we have to comply with these conventions, and we have to strategize how to comply with these conventions. The department undertaken multi-pronged activities regarding health and safety promotional framework. First of all, the legal framework and the policy, how to make a policy and how to convert it into a legal framework. We have many labor policies in the last decade, around 3 labor policies. The last one is labor policy, that is 2018, and we included a special chapter of the occupational safety and health in this policy. Then, after this policy, we made a legal framework, and that is a Punjab Occupational Safety and Health Act, that is 2019. So we covered the policy and the legal framework. Then we have launched some awareness campaigns and development projects under an annual development program of the Punjab government. First of all, I would like to highlight the awareness campaigns that is conducted by our Center for Improvement of Working Conditions and Environment, Syed Ahmed Nawan. With the help of the GIZ, I'm thankful to the GIZ that supported not only in technical matters, but also with the financial matters. 3 prevention campaigns on the Vision Zero were held regarding chemical, mechanical safety, and fire prevention and electrical safeties. And now 2 more campaigns are in pipeline, that is on ergonomics, and that is a very fine campaign, and we are doing a lot on these campaigns. Second is, we are also working with the GIZ to strategize a prevention strategy on the occupational safety and health. That is very important. We want to create a culture of prevention in the industries and the commercial establishments. And we are also going to launch a Vision Zero campaign with the help of GIZ to aware the importance of the occupational safety and health in workers, employers, and the other partners. And the second question regarding the partnership with the other stakeholders, we are always with the stakeholders, and we support the stakeholders like our employers federations, our workers federations, and the academia. We take support from them, and we are promoting occupational safety and health with the help of these partners. So there is a bright future for the Aush culture in Pakistan and in Punjab especially.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rao Zahid. I know we're running a little out of time, but we have one more speaker left, Ms. Satia Hamid from ILO. Ms. Satia, I would want to ask you what, in terms of having a tripartite structure, what importance do you see in terms of collaboration, consultations, and also the global conventions that ILO is working at the moment? Can you very briefly shed some light on it? Thank you.
I think it's working. Yeah, first I would like to congratulate Labour Department Punjab and their sub-department CIWCE for organizing this such a wonderful event and bringing multi-stakeholders over here with the support of GIZ. It's really a very good event. And I just want to say, because so many people has talked about social dialogue and consultations, I want to say that social dialogue has been a key to tackle occupational safety and health related challenges at all levels. And particularly when you talk about the workplace, occupational safety and health, social dialogue really matters a lot. Social dialogue can be a negotiation, a consultation, or in a very simple manner, it can be exchange of information, between the employers, workers, and government representatives. It can be informal or it can be highly institutionalized as well. But it can take place at any level, at international level, even at a workplace which is a family-run business. So it can take place over there as well. So it covers a range of topics as well. It's not only the big economic level, but also, even a small individual company as well. So it's not something which is only for big enterprises or it's only for small enterprises, it's for everyone, in fact. And the important thing is that it has happened. And social dialogue has many benefits, in fact. We are talking about occupational safety and health for all. So it has been proven that wherever there is a culture of consultation or cooperation, their workers are more empowered, they feel more confident to inform the employers about any kind of risk related to occupational safety and health. And it really beneficial for the businesses as well, because then workers become their eyes, they become their ears for the employers, so they timely inform what's going to be happen. It's not only their safety, it's also for the businesses as well. And if you look at research which is done by the Lloyd's Registration Foundation World Risk Pool, it has been also proven that the probability of the workers might suffer a serious injury at work is strongly correlated to the opinion that they cannot freely report safety issues to the employers. So I just want to say that if we really want to introduce the preventive measures at the workplaces to ensure that it is safe, it is healthy, then we have to introduce the culture of workplace cooperation as well. So it can be, tripartite at a policy level, like Zahid Saab said that they are working at the policy level. It is important that they involve employers and workers representatives as well. At the workplaces, it is very much important that there is a workplace cooperation culture at the industry, at the enterprise level. It's a big enterprise, it's a small or medium or micro enterprise, and you have heard, I told you that even if it's a one-person enterprise, it can work over there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Satia Hamid. Yes, let's have a huge round of applause for all of our speakers. I know this was a very short, brief, but very fruitful discussion. We had the chance of hearing different perspectives from the employers, from the workers, from the Labor Department, from ILO. And the discussion has just started. So while you're having iftar in a few minutes, you will have the chance to talk to all of the panelists directly as well. And we don't have enough time to take questions, but we'll definitely have time to talk one-on-one with the panelists during the dinner. So I would like to wrap up the discussion now, and thank you so much once again, and I'll hand back the mic back to the moderator. Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Faiza, for conducting such an efficient and thought-provoking panel discussion. Now, before our closing remarks, we have a special performance, ladies and gentlemen, for you here on this event. You see those cutouts that have been placed over there. There are 3 animated characters that the Saeed Ahmed Awan Center have developed called Billu, Dhillu, and Rani. So those characters are coming on stage in real life and going to present a performance like Mr. Helmut Ehns showed us the very touching video that we saw. The Pakistani flavor of entertainment is more towards comedy. It's more towards entertaining the masses and less towards melodrama and tragedy. So with that spirit, let's invite on stage with your round of applause, Billu, Dhillu and Rani. अगर बिल्लू करता है एहतियात तो ढिल्लू बढ़ाता है मुश्किलात, रानी ख़त्म करती है इनके इख्तलाफात। आइए देखते हैं बिल्लू, ढिल्लू और रानी को।
हेलो
मर गया, वो मेरा सर गया, अम्मी, अब्बू, वो मेरा सर गया,
अरे क्या हुआ? अरे ये क्या हो गया?
यार मैं मक्खी के पीछे भाग, यहाँ पे उसार पड़ा था मेरा पाँव, यार बड़ी जोर से लगी।
और ढिल्लू तो ध्यान से चला करो ना, इतनी बेहतियाती बिल्कुल भी नहीं अच्छी। और ये औजार यहाँ क्या कर रहा है?
मुझे नहीं पता, मैंने नहीं रखा था ये।
देखो मेरी बात सुनो, औजार को ना उसकी मखसूस जगह पर रखना चाहिए, ये बात समझनी होगी तुम्हें। और किसी भी काम को शुरू करने से पहले उसका दुरुस्त तरीक़ाकार अपनाना चाहिए। और तुमने अपना सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट फिर नहीं पहना आज।
यार बिल्लू, मैं कोई बच्चा हूँ जो सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स पहनूंगा मैं?
देखा, इसी वजह से चोट लगी है तुम्हें। अगर तुमने हेलमेट पहना होता तो ये सर पे चोट लगने से तो बच जाते ना।
यार बिल्लू, ये छोटी छोटी चोटें तो रोज लगती रहती है यार, तो क्या अब मैं डर के इनसे हेलमेट पहनना शुरू कर दूंगा यार?
अरे ढिल्लू, शुक्र करो कि तुम्हें कोई बड़ा नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा। अगर हेलमेट पहनने से हमारी जान बच सकती है तो हमें इसे पहनना चाहिए। और एहतियात करने वाले को जिम्मेदार कहते हैं, ना कि बुज़दिल। और वो बात याद है ना कि एहतियात इलाज से बेहतर है।
सही कहा बिल्लू, सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट ही हमारी ज़िंदगी की अहम जिम्मेदारी है और हमें चाहिए कि हम इसका ख्याल रखें हमेशा।
हाँ रानी मैडम, ये तो मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था।
बिल्लू, तुम जैसे बहुत से ऐसे वर्कर्स हैं जिन्होंने इसके बारे में कभी सोचा ही नहीं। आज 28 अप्रैल वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी डे है। इस दिन हम वर्कर्स को हेल्थ और सेफ्टी के बारे में आगाही देते हैं।
वैसे बिल्लू, मैंने अगर आज सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स पहना होता ना तो मुझे चोट नहीं लगनी थी। बड़ी दर्द हो रही है यार।
बिल्कुल, सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट पहनने से हम काम के दौरान पेश आने वाले हर तरह के हादसे से बच सकते हैं।
मैं ना आइंदा के बाद सारे सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स पहनूंगा। वो क्या है कि अगर खुदा ना खास्ता मुझे कुछ हो गया तो आपकी फैक्ट्री कौन चलाएगा?
बिल्कुल सही कहा डिल्लू, मुझे तुमसे यही उम्मीद थी। हमें चाहिए कि हम पर्सनल प्रोटेक्शन इक्विपमेंट्स का इस्तेमाल हमेशा हिफाजत से करें ताकि अपने फैक्ट्री के हर वर्कर के लिए आसानी कर सके और फैक्ट्री आसानी से चल सके। और याद रखिएगा,
सेहत और तहफ़्फ़ुज़ का ख्याल
तो इदारा खुशहाल।
थैंक यू सो मच
Thank you so much.
And with that very entertaining performance and very educating performance as well, we now move towards the final remarks of the event. We're closing towards the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to call upon the stage our very esteemed chief guest. He is Dr. Sohail Shehzad, Secretary, Labour and Human Resource Department, Punjab. Thank you so much, sir. We are honored by your presence. Dr. Sohail is he's the figurehead who enforces the important ideals of OSH into the LNHRD. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, GIZ. Thank you very much, Labour and Human Resource teams. Thank you very much, other partners. Ms. Antonia, the First Secretary, Embassy of Federal Republic of Germany, Mr. Helmut from ESA, Dr. Faisal from Labour Department, DG Labour and Labour Welfare, Ms. Romina from GIZ, and the other dignitaries. I'm thankful for all the people who joined us today for making this event, Occupational Health and Safety Day, a success day. The Labour Department for many years is celebrating Occupational Health and Safety Day. And this legacy basically starts with the journey of the GIZ. The role, the support of the GIZ for introducing safety standards across the factories, across the department, across the inspectors, so that they can make working places more safer for workers and for the management. This day reminds us that the life of a worker is as precious as the life of the manager. This is the welfare of the workers, which is the mandate of the Labour and Human Resource Department. The labour inspectors, they are performing not fully as the safety inspectors, but as mentioned in the panel discussion or the other speakers, there is a defined role of the inspector to ensure the safety standards. But with this GIZ and the other partners, we were able to have occupational safety and health law. And we foresee that this law will provide a progressive destination for the factories and other workplaces who are ambitious to go around the world for their businesses. And during the last 5 years, if we see, this dimension of safety is now the priority of the Labour Department. Just secure the lives of the people who are working in factories, who are working at dangerous places. I'm thankful to the GIZ, who constantly, what I believe, not struggled, but also faced challenges to make safety as the motto of the day. Health and Safety Day will remind us that we have to adopt the safety standards to compete in the world. I'm extremely grateful for the German government, for their support, the German social security associations, and even the other training academies for entertaining and providing support to the labor inspectors, to the employers, and to the employees. And now we are hopeful this cooperation will go on, and the Labor Department, under the umbrella of the federal government, will continue to serve the people with dignity for securing their life. I'm thankful for being a participant of today's event, and I wish you best of luck, because there is no more time for, you can say, very less time between the Iftari and the talk we are having now. So again, I'm thankful for all the hospitality of all the organizations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presence and your words and summarizing the spirit of OSH. And ladies and gentlemen, now for the concluding remarks of the event before we all go into Iftar, I would like to call on stage Ms. Romina Gochis, who's the project manager of textiles, implementation of labor and environmental standards in textile and fashion industry of Pakistan. She's been the leading force behind the textiles project and has enabled and inspired individuals nationwide. Ma'am, if you will, please join us.
Assalamu alaikum. Dear Dr. Sohail Shehzad, dear friend and Secretary Labor, dear DG Labor Faisal Zahoor, dear First Secretary Development Corporation Antonia Peters, dear Majid Aziz, dear Helmut Enes, dear OSH enthusiasts, dear friends, dear movers and shakers, what a beautiful day. But I know you're also very hungry. Hence, I will try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. I just want to thank you for all your efforts, all your support throughout the previous last months, the last 12 months since we last met to celebrate the World OSH Day. Today, the World OSH Day coincides with the most important day of Ramadan, and you're spending it together with us. That shows your great passion and zeal. And I want to thank all our project partners, all our guests today for their contributions. And I want to thank, in particular today, the Labor and Human Resource Department, of course, for hosting this event and for always being so excited about our joint activities. I want to thank my team in particular for all their generosity and support despite all difficult times. And of course, in particular, our moderator, Shafat, for the fantastic moderation today. And knowing that the last weeks have been troubled for many people in Europe as well as here in the region, by the way, and I'm not limiting that to Pakistan, I want to say that for occupational health and safety, it is also important, as Mr. Emes already said, that we manage to resolve conflicts peacefully and to forgive each other and to focus on what is really important. And that is now also what I want to wish you for the upcoming Eid celebrations. Do not forget what really matters is love, well-being, health, peace. And with having said so, I wish you all the best and advance Eid Mubarak. Bye-bye.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude today's event's proceedings. And we all know and we must agree to Ms. Romina's vision. Thank you, ma'am, for your vision and your leadership throughout this entire last few years. And before I go, ladies and gentlemen, let's all pledge together that we should reiterate that this vision of labor welfare can come through effective social discourse and is necessary for all stakeholders to join hands for this particular cause of occupational safety and health. My name is Shah Fahad and I was the host for today's event. Before we go, we must congratulate and thank the GIZ staff, especially Ms. Myra Manzoor, the Training and Development Advisor, for leading the event, along with the team members, Ms. Ansar Rabia, Mr. Sadia Akbar, and Ms. Ms. Faiza Zia, and Mr. Rauf Anjum. Thank you so much. All of you, please feel free to dine with your iftar. Thank you so much for being here with us, and an advanced Eid Mubarak.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله